Hello brothers and sisters, Cameron here. We are going to talk about something new on Scripture Sunday. I'm going to divert just slightly. I found this article on jw.org that's entitled, "Does God Change His Mind?" In the first sentence it says, yes, He does. Cool. Glad we both agree on that. It's just confusing growing up. I was born and raised as a Jehovah's Witness. A lot of the Jehovah's Witnesses that I remember talking to thought that God was perfect, He never needed to change Himself, and the other half was confused in that He never changed His belief systems or His stance in the world, but He did change His mind and regrets things. So that's a kind of a contradiction, so we're going to talk about that today. I'm going to challenge this. I'm filming a lot here at this park. This is the very first park that I shot my very first vlog at ever. If God were perfect, it's starting to drizzle. I just heard some thunder, but I'm going to challenge this. If God were perfect, would He need to change His mind about anything or anything about Himself? No, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? And the only way things can break is if they're imperfect or if mistakes are made. So if you believe in God, or you were born in as, like I was, raised in religion and Christianity and believing in the Bible, if you believe in God, created the earth, the moon, the stars, the planets, the solar systems, the universe, the most supreme being in the universe, would He need your help? Why would He even need your help? What is that shit? So jw.org says God changes His mind when people change their behavior. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. If God is perfect, He knows the past, the present, and the future. He already knew this shit was going to happen. He already knows what the outcome is. So the first scripture that they reference in this article is Jeremiah chapter 26 verses 3. And I encourage you to read the whole chapter, Jeremiah chapter 26. It's basically God pleading them to stop doing their evil deeds, or He's going to have to make an example out of them and curse them as an example for the rest of the nations on all of the earth. Bully mentality of, I'm going to make an example out of it. Well, in Numbers chapter 23 verses 19, it says that God doesn't change His mind. He's not like a human and He doesn't lie. That's what it says. Well, I can say that He does. Remember Adam and Eve? If God is perfect, then He knew that they would make a mistake. He knew that they were going to fuck up. God clearly changed His mind about the human race by allowing us all to give birth to the sin instead of just, undoing what He did, starting over. He could have done many, many things. But Genesis chapter 6 verses 6 says that not only did He regret it, but it hurt His feelings and it made Him sad. So if you believe in this whole perfection complex, it is raining right now, not only did He regret, but He got His feelings hurt and He got sad. If He was perfect, how could that even happen? He knew this was going to happen. He's perfect. He's the all-seeing, all-knowing being that creates things. Why wasn't His reaction more like, it's all going according to my plan, I knew this was going to happen, this has to happen so that the human race can make things better in the long run for me and prove themselves to me? That would have been my reaction if I knew that this was going to happen. The article then cites several scriptures that say that God doesn't change His mind in those situations. Well, in Micah chapter 3 verse 6 and James chapter 1 verses 17, it clearly says God doesn't change. Verse 6 says, "For I am the loud, I change not." If God doesn't change, then why do modern religions, including the Jehovah's Witnesses, Mormons, and most of Christianity, cast aside all of the murder, rape, and torture that God did in the Old Testament and solely focus on the New Testament of Jesus' teachings about loving thy neighbor and saving the human race? Give one thought of living on a paradise on earth if you grew up as a Jehovah's Witness, or if you're in most of other modern Christianity, of living in heaven, playing a harp in heaven with God, depending on your religion. You forgive the worst murder, rape, torture, sexism, and hate in the Old Testament. You start believing these promises that these religions are giving you as you're born in, or if you were brainwashed into it later on in life, and you're like, that baby really wasn't dead, right? Can't wait to be perfect. Who wants to play with a grown Bengal tiger or play the harp with God? I can't believe this shit anymore. In the meantime, brothers and sisters, make sure to subscribe so you can get my Scripture Sundays every Sunday. Comment for more information below. Make sure to hit that notification bell so that way you don't miss an upload. I'm on Instagram at Kameron. I'm posting some stuff every once in a while about some activism stuff that we're doing here in California, some heavy-hitting stuff that's going to change the United States. And if you can support the channel. Hit me up on Patreon. We've got some awesome content that's going to be going exclusively just to Patreon that will go in more depth. The private content will start going to Patreon, including work that we're doing on legislation with this new bill that we're introducing to protect children. The universe is telling us it's time to protect our children. Until next time, brothers and sisters, it is raining. I gotta get back.